An island, a temple, and a man who was asked on camera if he was the devil himself. He smiled, and he didn't say no. What was really happening on Little St. James? And why does it match a 2,000-year-old prophecy almost perfectly? What if the most powerful island in the world wasn't just a crime scene? What if it was a stage, built for something darker than we've been told? Built for someone described in ancient texts as the great deceiver, a man who would seduce kings, corrupt nations, and control the world from the shadows? Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein, and let's talk about what his island was actually for. 3 million pages, 18,000 photos, 2,000 videos. That's what the Justice Department just released about Jeffrey Epstein. And buried inside those files is something almost nobody is talking about. A connection so old, so dark, it goes back to the book of Revelation, Little St. James, a 72-acre private island in the US Virgin Islands. For nearly 2 decades, the most powerful people on the planet flew there. Presidents, princes, scientists, billionaires, and almost none of them ever talked about what happened. The locals called it Pedophile Island, but that name, as horrifying as it is, might actually undersell what this place was. Because when you look at the architecture, the symbolism, the rituals, the guest list, and then you open the book of Revelation, you start to see a pattern that is very hard to explain away. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm going to show you what's there, and you can decide. The most famous structure on Little St. James isn't a mansion. It's a small building, blue and white stripes, a gold dome, no windows. Epstein called it a music room. But here's the thing. There's no piano, no instruments, no acoustic panels. Nothing that suggests music was ever made there. Architects who've analyzed it say the design closely mirrors ancient ceremonial temples, specifically those used for ritualistic purposes. The owl statue outside? That symbol appears in occult traditions going back thousands of years. It was on the seal of the ancient city of Babylon. What types of things were happening in Babylon at that time? Some things we may never know. Babylon was and remains shrouded in mystery, encompassing both archaeological uncertainties regarding its physical, ancient reality and profound symbolic, religious, and prophetic meanings. In the Bible, Babylon is the city of the Antichrist, the city of the great deceiver, the city built on 7 hills where kings of the earth committed fornication. And Epstein, he built what appears to be a temple on a private island where no one could watch. But that's just the beginning. In Revelation 17, the Antichrist doesn't just commit evil alone. He builds a network. He brings the most powerful rulers of the world into his web. They become dependent on him, compromised by him, controlled by him. Now read Epstein's client list. We're talking heads of state, members of royal families, CEOs of the largest companies in the world, scientists running some of the most advanced research on the planet, and every single one of them, every single one, got on a plane and flew to that island. The question isn't who he knew. The question is, why did they all go? And more importantly, what did he have on them? Because that's exactly how the Antichrist operates in Scripture. Not through force, through leverage. In January 2025, the Justice Department released 3 million pages of Epstein documents. Inside those files, a video. In that video, an unidentified interviewer asks Jeffrey Epstein directly, "Are you the devil himself?" Epstein smiles, he laughs a little, and he does not say no. Now, I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein was literally the Antichrist. What I'm saying is this: the system he built, the control, the corruption, the secrecy, the island, the temple, it matches the description in Scripture with uncomfortable precision. Look at the layout of the island itself. The placement of the buildings follows an intentional geometric pattern, not unlike sacred geometry used in ancient mystery schools. The sundial, The underground tunnels, yes, tunnels confirmed by documents and testimony. The owl, the colors blue and white, colors with deep significance in occult traditions. And then there's this, Epstein's private jet. The Lolita Express, tail number N908JE. Flight logs show hundreds of trips, but the jet he used before that, tail number N72MS. In numerology, a field Epstein reportedly studied deeply, those numbers carry specific symbolic weight in occult traditions. Was he hiding symbolism in plain sight? Or is this all coincidence? At what point does the pattern stop being coincidence? Before I get to the most disturbing part of all this, the part about what the island may have been preparing for, if this is the kind of content you want more of, hit subscribe right now. I go places most channels won't touch. New video every week. The payoff. What was the island really for? Here's the theory that keeps coming up in theological and investigative circles alike, and I want you to sit with it. The Antichrist, according to Scripture, doesn't arrive with an announcement. He arrives already embedded in the system, already trusted, already powerful. His job isn't destruction, it's corruption. He doesn't need to take over the world by force because by the time the world notices him, he already owns it. Jeffrey Epstein, whether he was a willing participant, a tool, or something else entirely, built the infrastructure for exactly that. A private island, a temple, a client list of the most powerful people alive, a blackmail network with no apparent oversight, a death that was ruled as suicide in a maximum security federal prison with the cameras conveniently not working. He died before he could talk, before he could name names, before the full list could come out. The island is still there, the tunnels are still there, the temple is still there, and the people who flew there? They're still in power. I'm going to keep digging into this. The next video goes deep on the client list, specifically the ones you've never heard named in mainstream media. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. If this video made you think, share it. Because the most dangerous thing in the world right now is people not asking questions. I'll see you in the next one.